Crown of England. C. To establish parliamentary representation for Wales. D. To divide Wales into shires. Answer. B. To annex Wales to the Crown of England. The Statute of Ffynon in 1284 was primarily aimed at annexing Wales to the Crown of England, integrating the legal system of Wales into that of England. Question 2. Which treaty, signed in 1706, paved the way for the Acts of Union the following year? A. The Treaty of Edinburgh. B. The Treaty of Union. C. The Treaty of Westminster. D. The Treaty of Glasgow. Answer. B. The Treaty of Union. The Treaty of Union, signed in 1706, paved the way for the Acts of Union in 1707, which officially united the kingdoms of England and Scotland. Question 3. Who was the UK's first female Prime Minister, and what year did she take office? A. Margaret Thatcher in 1979. B. Theresa May in 2016. C. Indira Gandhi in 1966. D. Angela Merkel in 2005. Answer. A. Margaret Thatcher in 1979. Margaret Thatcher became the UK's first female Prime Minister when she took office in 1979, leading significant economic and social reforms. Question 4. In what year was the Battle of Britain fought during World War II? A. 1939. B. 1940. C. 1941. D. 1942. Answer. B. 1940. The Battle of Britain was fought in 1940, a pivotal air campaign carried out by the German Air Force against the United Kingdom. Question 5. What is the significance of the Bill of Rights 1689 in British constitutional history? A. It established the absolute monarchy. B. It declared the rights of citizens. C. It limited the powers of the monarchy and outlined the rights of Parliament. D. It abolished the monarchy. Answer. C. It limited the powers of the monarchy and outlined the rights of Parliament. The Bill of Rights 1689 is significant for limiting the powers of the monarchy and setting out the rights of Parliament, marking a fundamental moment in the development of a constitutional monarchy in Britain. Question 6. Who was responsible for the establishment of the Church of England in 1534? A. Henry VIII. B. Elizabeth I. C. James II. D. Charles I. Answer. A. Henry VIII. King Henry VIII was responsible for the establishment of the Church of England in 1534 after separating from the Roman Catholic Church. Question 7. What major reform did the Reform Act of 1832 introduce in British politics? A. It abolished the slave trade. B. It introduced the secret ballot. C. It extended the right to vote to the middle classes. D. It established universal suffrage. Answer. C. It extended the right to vote to the middle classes. The Reform Act of 1832 is notable for extending the right to vote beyond the upper classes to the middle classes, significantly widening the electoral franchise. Question 8. Which British monarch officially abolished the slave trade in 1807? A. George III. B. Victoria. C. Elizabeth I. D. Charles II. Answer. A. George III. King George III was the British monarch when the slave trade was officially abolished in 1807, following advocacy by figures such as William Wilberforce. Question 9. Who was the first Roman emperor to invade Britain, and in what year? A. Julius Caesar in 55 BC. B. Nero in 54 AD. C. Caligula in 40 AD. D. Augustus in 27 BC. Answer. A. Julius Caesar in 55 BC. Julius Caesar was the first Roman emperor to invade Britain, initiating the Roman conquest of Britain in 55 BC. Question 10. What was the outcome of the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485? A. The victory solidified Tudor rule. B. It led to the War of the Roses. C. It resulted in a stalemate. D. It ended Norman rule. Answer. A. The victory solidified Tudor rule. The Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485 was a decisive victory for Henry Tudor, marking the end of the Wars of the Roses and solidifying Tudor rule over England. Question 11. What significant event did the Magna Carta of 1215 lead to in terms of monarchical power? A. It abolished the monarchy. B. It limited the king's power and laid the foundation for constitutional governance. C. It extended the king's power. D. It declared war on France. Answer. B. It limited the king's power and laid the foundation for constitutional governance. The Magna Carta of 1215 is significant for limiting the powers of the king and establishing a basis for the rule of law and constitutional governance in England. Question 12. Who authored the influential Vindication of the Rights of Woman in 1792? A. Mary Wollstonecraft. B. Virginia Woolf. C. Jane Austen. D. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Answer. A. Mary Wollstonecraft. A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, authored by Mary Wollstonecraft in 1792, is a seminal work in the history of feminist literature, advocating for equality and women's rights. Question 13. What was the main contribution of the Factory Acts during the Industrial Revolution? A. They introduced the 10-hour workday. B. They regulated child labor and working conditions in factories. C. They abolished factory work. D. They promoted industrial growth. Answer. B. They regulated child labor and working conditions in factories. The Factory Acts were a series of laws passed during the Industrial Revolution that significantly improved conditions for workers, especially children, in factories. Question 14. In which year did the Great Fire of London occur, and what was one of its major consequences? A. 1666. It led to the rebuilding of London with new urban designs. B. 1642. It started the English Civil War. C. 1605. It prevented another plague outbreak. D. 1620. It destroyed the original London Bridge. Answer. A. 1666. It led to the rebuilding of London with new urban designs. The Great Fire of London occurred in 1666, and one of its major consequences was the comprehensive rebuilding of the city, including new urban planning and the construction of many modern-day landmarks. Question 15. What legislation, passed in 1918, significantly changed voting rights in Britain? A. The Equal Franchise Act. B. The Representation of the People Act. C. The Universal Suffrage Act. D. The Parliamentary Voting Act. Answer. B. The Representation of the People Act. Passed in 1918. This act significantly changed voting rights in Britain by extending the vote to women over the age of 30 and all men over the age of 21, vastly expanding the electorate. Question 16. Who was the Prime Minister during the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998? A. John Major. B. Tony Blair. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Gordon Brown. Answer. B. Tony Blair.